Hello, everybody. I should be online now. Don't worry, I am here. It just took me a second. I normally take to put the link out just before I go live, but your eyes do not deceive you. I am now live. What's it, Tuesday evening? Oh, he live. We live. We are. Hello, everyone. Hello to Oscar Watt, really named Dan, Nathan Busher W. Live again. Well, you know what? It's Centenary Week. There's stuff dropping. There's stuff to talk about. So why not? Good evening, buddy. Good evening, Jason P. Smart Casual Gamer, Blue, the Nordic Doctor. Carrots, hello to you all. I hope you're doing well. Obviously, last night was a bit of a chaotic stream, to say the least. We had numerous images from not only like official sources being released, but also obviously we had that leaked regeneration tease the other night. Hello, Mark Manigan. I forgot about you. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. But yes, yeah, we had a lot going on last night. So this stream will be comparatively low-key, at least in theory, unless they start dropping a bunch. But we do still have a bundle to go over today. So feel free to make yourself comfortable. Like the stream if you haven't already. There's already 60 of you in here, which is phenomenal. Good evening, and I hope that you all enjoy the stream. Also, subscribe if you're new. Yesterday was all the pictures, today all the audio. Yes, we're slowly going to make our reconstruction of Power of the Doctor. No, we've got mostly magazine coverage as well as some like new interview details and stuff. Are you going to stream every night this week? To be honest, I am planning on doing some more video content. It's just that, like, given that Power of the Doctor stuff has actually been occurring regularly, it's just made sense to go live to cover it all, really. It's just made more, like, the most sense. But I am planning on doing some more regular content. But, seeing as it's Power of the Doctor week, there's quite consistent stuff coming out. But yeah, nonetheless, like the stream if you haven't already, subscribe if you are new, and let us get into some news items. Should we start off with the Fall Guys collaboration? Why not? Should we start off with that? Is a Christmas special happening this year? We do not know yet. I want to believe there will be one, but I'm not holding my breath at this stage. Evening all, evening. Alright, let's get into the Fall Guys stuff, shall we? So the first things first. This has been in the works for quite some time, actually. I remember this leaking a couple of months ago, I want to say, maybe like September. I'm not sure. It was fairly recent that this got sort of thrown about. But basically, members of the Fall Guys community noticed in I think the game's code or something that there was emotes for sonic screwdrivers and stuff like that within the game of Fall Guys, and obviously a lot of people within that community who are very trustworthy have shown to know of, obviously, a Doctor Who collaboration upcoming. And we have, thanks to at KRXNKY, our first looks at the costumes for Fall Guys. I've only played Fall Guys a handful of times, but I must say these look absolutely adorable. So we have your Jodie Whittaker Fall Guy, which I just think looks hilarious. You've got a Tom Baker themed Fall Guy, and you have a Dalek-themed Fall Guy, and obviously, as I said, there's apparently according to TARDIS Central, there's supposed to be a sonic screwdriver emote that's also planned. The Dalek is probably my favourite. I know a lot of people, the Fourth Doctor costume was their favourite. For me, I just think the Dalek's adorable. It reminds me of those little, like, kids' outfits for the Daleks that you see, like in Adventure in Space and Time and stuff, where Bill Hartnell's granddaughter dresses up as a dog. It gives that vibe. It's very cute. Yeah, I'm not sure on a date for this, but I just thought, this is a fun story. We've also heard murmurings of from some pretty reliable Fortnite people that a proper Fortnite collaboration that's not the island the BBC made or the sprays, but a proper, skins, all that sort of stuff, is also being planned for Fortnite. So it really seems like they're expanding their, I guess, sort of brand tie-ins with large video games, which I think, even if you don't play them, is a net positive for the show. It gets, with how many young kids especially play these games, Fortnite in particular, it makes total sense for Doctor Who to be exposed to these. Every franchise at this point has swapped bit with the Fortnite license, especially. It feels like in the same way that they've all, done their business with Funko Pops as well. It's just a way of life, but it definitely does excite me, and I think it's a good sign for the future that we're getting these collaborations in now, ahead of the 60th anniversary year as well. I think that's a really, really good thing and a really good sign moving forward. Next up, as I alluded to in the title, we have several new magazine covers featuring the Doctor Who centenary, aka the Power of the Doctor, prominently. Again, I keep calling it the Power of the Doctor. I keep calling the Power of the Doctor the centenary, rather. Thank you to Kathy Cable for the $1.99 super chat. Thank you very much. Do you watch any other Doctor Who YouTubers, Darius? Oh, all the time. I'm a big fan of most Doctor Who YouTubers. I got a lot of inspiration from a lot of different Doctor Who YouTubers. Hello, Metal Gear T-Rex, how are you? It seems very strange that these collabs are happening right at the end of an era. TBH would make more sense to wait for next year. I guess, but like, if you're thinking about it, this hasn't actually been officially released yet, so maybe that is their plan, to have it like sort of coincide with the start of this year. Obviously, people might say, why pick 13? I guess it's because these things might take a little time to actually, develop and stuff, so maybe it's just a case of them, going with the current Doctor at the time. I think that makes sense. And, the Fourth Doctor probably being one of the most visually iconic. I would say arguably now in the modern zeitgeist that Tennant has probably usurped Tom's place as the most publicly recognisable Doctor. But I think costume-wise, Tom's is probably the most iconic of the bunch. The scarf is sort of very, culturally ubiquitous. Do I get Jodie or Tom? I think you can get both. I don't know how Fall Guys really works. I don't know whether it's like you've got to pay for them or whether they're free. I'm not really sure how it works, but it's cool nonetheless. Yeah, exactly. 10 isn't as visually iconic as 4, so I would say, yeah. Do I watch Theories or House of the Dragon? I mean, look, House of the Dragon has Matt Smith in it, so, part of me doesn't want to say to drag you away from Matt Smith, but equally, this is live. You can watch House of the Dragon at any point. I mean, you can watch this technically at any point, but you miss out on all the quality live moments. You have to pay real currency for in-game currency to buy them. Okay. It's like Fortnite, you have to pay. Fall Guys is pretty fun, though. Yeah, I've played a couple of bits of Fall Guys, and it seems pretty fun. Ten's jacket is iconic, but I would say visually, Tom's look is still more iconic. The scarf is probably still more iconic overall than his coat, to be fair. To be fair, I personally think 12 is the most iconic outfit in the new series. I think with iconic, I would say that Capaldi probably has one of the most visually striking looks, certainly. But I mean, in terms of iconic, you've got to think of anyone off the street being able to recognize it. Capaldi's outfit, you could probably tell someone was being the Doctor, but I don't think people would pick that out immediately in the same they would Tom's costume, or even Colin's. As hated as it is, everyone knows that multicolored coat, whether it be through fame or infamy. You know what I mean? Like, I guess that's what I'm trying to say, is that, like, I'd say Matt Smith as well is a good example. Bow tie sails shot through the roof when he was the Doctor, and I think that's testament to his power, like the power of that costume as well. But yes, anyway, talking about, I know we went on a massive side tangent there about the iconicness of each outfit, but yeah, we have covers for multiple magazines featuring the Doctor Who Centenary Special, including this one, which is the TV and Satellite Week cover, which has, I believe some of these are new composites. Jodie Whittaker, Mandip Gill, the TARDIS, which I think is just the regular PNG. Why have they used the lens flare like that? And a version of the regular Cyberman. A discovery I made yesterday, actually, and I'll see if I can bring it back up, was that there's two different factions of Cybermen in this episode, and that's quite interesting. This is Doctor Who, Jodie Whittaker, all action farewell with Daleks, Cybermen, and Big Shocks, and you can also see in the corner there Peter Capaldi's new series, The Devil's Hour, being advertised. Do we know when that's coming out, by the way? Because I'm really interested in watching that. But yes, so that's a cool one. And then we also have this one, that's the same one. Hold on, let me get the right one up. I did have it up a second ago. I must have just, when I was lining up the tabs, clicked on the wrong one. Here we go. So we have this one as well, which, again, similar thing. I think it's the same Cyberman, obviously a different version of 13. I think that promo image has been released fairly recently. Rasputin, that was in Doctor Who magazine, and then that Dalek, which I'm not sure where that Dalek's from, but frankly it could be from anywhere. But it's nice to see Doctor Who on the front of these TV guides. That's always exciting. And thanks to Ethan Power of the Doctor, Ethan LMP, we actually can see these guys on sale, as well as in 2 other separate magazines. Doctor Who here getting a side bit at the in the issue as well. So yeah, it seems that the coverage in the guides for Doctor Who is going to be, prominent, which is really nice to see. The Radio Times have also dropped their cover. That's a BBC Centenary general themed cover, and obviously you can see there Jodie Whittaker is among the names included, along with Peter Capaldi as well. And then obviously we can see here Hugh Fullerton, who is a regular contributor to Radio Times and regularly writes for the Doctor Who articles in particular, saying 4 years ago I wrote Jodie Whittaker's first Radio Times Doctor Who feature, and this month I commissioned her last one. I've loved working with the Who team across that time, literally the end of an era. Here's to the next one. And you can sort of see here a little sneaky preview of the edition itself. Actually, I missed something before I move on from this one, actually, as well. Ooh. I want to mention we actually get a chat with Chris Chibnall in which one was it? Let me make sure I know which one. TV Guide. Total TV Guide. We get an exclusive interview with Chris Chibnall about the dramatic, spectacular marking of Jodie's farewell. So it seems that everywhere's getting interviews now. It's so weird how, we'll go for months, from not hearing from anyone, and then all of a sudden, bam, they're everywhere. But, it's nice to see at least. And then, we have this little corner bit saying, who's next? Meet the Time Lord played by Ncuti Gatwa, and then it's ×2 as the new 14th incarnation of the Doctor, Ncuti Gatwa, may join forces with David Tennant in the next year's 60th anniversary. I did see, I can't remember where the article was now. I think it might have been, I'm not 100%, but it said that Ncuti Gatwa was the next Doctor, which obviously he is. But I saw people taking that as what was essentially confirmation that Tennant wouldn't in fact be the next incarnation that we see at the end of Power of the Doctor. But I think that's probably just educated guesswork. I wouldn't take that as confirmation either way. I'm still 99% sure that it is going to be Tennant. In fact, on that topic, also thank you to Cameron Jefferson for the £2 super chat. Hello, nice to meet you. Can you cash me up? So basically, we've just been going over the Doctor Who the covers for the magazines, for the TV guides, as well as a little bit of a sneaky look at the Radio Times coverage for Doctor Who. There is a couple more bits on the Radio Times coverage coming up later in the stream, so make sure you're watching for that. Also, if there's 145 of you in here, if you could all just like the stream right now, it'd be very much appreciated. It helps the algorithm out immensely, and if you are new and you enjoy these streams, feel free to subscribe. Someone noticed someone edited out of one of the Power of the Doctor pictures. Yes, I did see that. We'll have a look at that later. I'm glad you reminded me. What was I looking at? What was I going to look at? Yes, the poll. That was what I was going to show you. That's what I was going to show. I actually did a poll earlier on asking my Twitter following, which, by the way, @Theories_YT if you don't already. Subtle plug there, subtle plug. I actually asked the Twitter audience earlier, what do you think it's going to happen? Do you think she'll regenerate into Tennant or Gatwa? And to be fair, a lot of people brought up a fairly interesting point that I hadn't considered, or at least I had, but I didn't think to include, I guess, was, so I put who will Jodie regenerate into, not who you want, but who you think is more likely, and it's either Tennant or Gatwa. Tennant, obviously, I think a lot of people see as the more likely candidate at this stage with 77%, and Gatwa with 23%. Now, a lot of people brought up the point that it could very well be both. It could flash into Gatwa for a second and then, solidify on Tennant, I suppose, which is a possibility I really should have accounted for when making this poll, but hey-ho, you learn. But yeah, I still think I'm pretty confident it's going to be Tennant, so I wouldn't take anyone saying that Ncuti Gatwa is the next Doctor as confirmation that we aren't going to see Tennant at the end of the centenary, because the thing is, no one knows officially yet. Not even the people who were at the premieres for Power of the Doctor know who is going to be at the end of that. So Tharies, you do realise today kicks off the official centenary celebrations? Yes, I do. It's actually the anniversary of the BBC tonight. Yes, it is indeed. I know that they've been doing some special news coverage. So yes, I am aware that it's today. So happy birthday, BBC. Thank you for giving me a job. Not at the BBC, but just doing this. If the BBC didn't exist, then this channel wouldn't exist because Doctor Who wouldn't exist. You get it. But yes, what was I going to talk about next? So yeah, so we also had a clip. I'm not sure where this was taken from, of Sagan Akinola. I think this was in this is in apparently a podcast, I think, called The Music Room. Sagan Akinola, outgoing composer for Doctor Who, said in an interview released today, Sagan Akinola spoke about his recording session with Shahid Abbas Khan. I mean, that's probably gonna be the best recording session I've ever had in my life. Nothing will ever top that. And everyone else who was there in the room every single time, like, it was just unbelievable. So yeah, he's been interviewed as well, obviously for a separate project, but I just thought that was interesting to bring up as well. And then we have, wait, let me just make sure. Let me just get the other things up and ready. Yes, there we are. So I just got to make sure that you guys see everything that I want you to see. You don't see any of my secrets. I don't have any secrets that are worth keeping, to be honest. Anyway, so we have had Peter Capaldi being interviewed recently. I assume... this is for Radio Times magazine. Peter Capaldi addresses ridiculous Doctor Who secrecy. The former Doctor Who star has spoken out about keeping secrets whilst in the BBC sci-fi drama. Those who played the Doctor, the titular character of BBC's long-running sci-fi drama, Doctor Who, will know that keeping plot twists under wraps comes with the Time Lord territory. Also, if you're enjoying the stream, feel free to subscribe if you are new. However, former star Peter Capaldi has revealed he wasn't impressed by the secrecy around the show. Speaking to Radio Times magazine about his upcoming drama Devil's Hour, Capaldi said it was ridiculous trying to keep secrets whilst playing the 12th incarnation of the Doctor. Who cares if the Cybermen will be back next week, he said before saying that his upcoming role in Amazon Prime Video's The Devil's Hour has been the first time he's been in a position where he can really say nothing without giving everything away. It's more difficult to explain than it will be to see, he said, but it's fun. I get to do lots of nasty things and wreak havoc through the whole thing. Capaldi played the 12th Doctor during 2013-2017. The Devil's Hour producer Stephen Moffat. Wait, he's producer on it? Okay, now I need... No wonder he sounded so much like the Doctor in that trailer. Because Stephen Moffat's producing it. Okay, that makes sense. Because it's to do with time travel as well, I think. In The Devil's Hour, Peter Capaldi plays Gideon, a reclusive nomad driven by a murderous obsession who may be a time traveler. The six-parter, written by newcomer Tom Moran, basically, it's what if the Doctor fully went off the edge, even further, way beyond Time Lord Victorious was just insane, I guess. A woman who is woken up every night at exactly 3:33 with terrifying visions. Starstruck's Nikesh Patel also stars as Ravi Dillon as a detective who works with Capaldi's character after a string of brutal murders, which Lucy also seems to be connected to. Capaldi is Doctor Who's successor, and then basically just goes on about the stuff that we already know. But this has actually caused some interesting discussion because I've seen a lot of people say that a lot of Capaldi's era wasn't actually, that secret. And that, a lot of the major things did get revealed, but you still got to think, there was still probably press junkets that he was doing months and months before anything would come out where he couldn't say anything. So I can understand why that would be frustrating to someone, 100%. Although someone, I don't know who it was, but someone made the point on Twitter that, like, he'd hate working for the Gimbalere, and it's like, yeah, can you imagine? He'd be tearing his hair out, bless him. But, you know, maybe he'd go full Malcolm Tucker style. But that's a very interesting, very interesting point nonetheless. No, Moffat didn't write Devil's Hour, but he is a producer on it, according to the Radio Times. So, I mean, when you're a producer, you do have a little bit of a guiding hand, I guess. So yeah, so I heard this from William Hu. I believe it's true. But Power of the Doctor will apparently be shown in UHD 4K on BBC iPlayer. Now I've actually heard, I think it was Matthew Purchase who said that you can't actually stream in 4K on BBC iPlayer on PC monitors, which is me scuppered because my monitor that I have here is actually 4K. But BBC iPlayer apparently doesn't support monitors, only TV sets, which is great. I don't really get what the difference is, to be honest. But let me know, you know, what the experience is like for anyone, you know, who does end up watching the episode in 4K. Apparently, it's like the most, you know, visually like ambitious episode. Like, it's got the most visual effects, I should say, of any episode. So it probably would benefit from a 4K viewing. But the more interesting part of this story was that William Hu pointed out that this will probably follow the same formula as Revolution of the Daleks, with the full episode being uploaded on BBC iPlayer at 7:30 p.m. This will allow people to skip to the end of the episode. Therefore, leaks will probably occur on social media from 7:30 p.m. Sunday night onwards. Which, I've got to be honest, I know that obviously that's the way they do it, but I'm really, you know, I'm not a fan of the fact that, like, people will just be able to skip to the end and basically, you know, see the regeneration before everyone else does. I know that I'm like the leak guy, and that might sound a little bit like, well, you're complaining about people seeing things early. You know, is that not what you report on a lot? And it's like, yeah, but I guess the difference here is that, like, it's literally broadcasting. Like, for some people, you know, they might not be able to watch. I guess I think you can still watch the 4K broadcasts on, you know, hardware, I guess, that doesn't accommodate for it, but you just, obviously, you don't get the full, you know, that you don't get the full benefit. I have a 4K TV, that's awesome. Yeah, I'm just sad that we might well get, like, people just posting the regeneration scene before, like, you know, like, people have had a chance to finish the episode. Because if people have free reign to just skip to the end, then that's gonna be sad. You know, I want to be surprised. And given the circles that I occupy, that's going to be a little bit of a, you know, a shame. I guess I'll just stay off Twitter from, like, 7 o'clock onwards, just to be sure. Thank you to Xander Moon for the $4.99 super chat, saying, I'm surprised they weren't going to do an Only Fools and Horses special or a little video for the BBC Centenary. I mean, I love Only Fools, but, you know, David Jason and Nicholas Lyndhurst, you know, they're all getting on and stuff. The last thing they did, I believe, was for a comic relief thing about sort of early 2010s, I think. So yeah, I can't really say that I'm surprised they didn't, but they are actually doing something I haven't pointed out that is a bit of Doctor Who news. For the BBC Centenary, we have the Strictly Come Dancing themed dances, and they're actually doing a Doctor Who themed dance for one of the pairs, which is going to be interesting to see, given the last one with the 13th Doctor and the Cyberman, if anyone remembers that. I don't think Lyndhurst acts anymore, doesn't he? That's interesting. I skipped the end. Darius is the next Master Huge League. Well, spoilers. You got me. No. But yeah, so I'm just hoping that I can avoid spoilers, I guess. But thank you as well to Xander Moon for the $4.99 super chat. It's very much appreciated. It's very, very much appreciated. Darius is K9. Affirmative. Anyway, that was my audition. Did you like it? So the other thing I want to talk about is that we've had some little rumblings from the Radio Times. I'm not sure when their full coverage on the centenary drops, but we've had a couple of things that have caused a stir, you know, a bit of a stir within the fan base, because I guess, you know, when don't these things? But I guess one of the more interesting things that I wanted to talk about was this. Doctor Who would not exist outside of the BBC, says Chris Chibnall. The Doctor Who showrunner has spoken about the importance of the BBC ahead of the show's upcoming centenary special, Power of the Doctor. This is by Lauren Morris. Doctor Who's Chris Chibnall has commended the BBC on its dedication to the sci-fi show ahead of its centenary special, revealing that it would not exist outside of the broadcaster. The showrunner, who will be leaving the show after this Sunday special, told RadioTimes.com and other press at the screening for Power of the Doctor that Doctor Who is the most BBC show there is, and that without that channel we wouldn't have the show we know and love today. The thing that makes Doctor Who magical is that the BBC is the BBC, because the BBC has kept it on air, he said. The BBC created it in the first place. It was a group of people at the BBC who created it. They keep it on air. They invigorated it by thinking of the idea of regeneration. They needed to recast. They've even changed it into colour. They've changed it into different formats. Chibnall continued, the faith of the BBC in this show is the most BBC show there is. It would not exist anywhere else. The outgoing showrunner, who will be leaving Doctor Who alongside current star Jodie Whittaker, also praised BBC boss Charlotte Moore for supporting the show and making it really important to the BBC. Whittaker added that Doctor Who doesn't restrict where its characters can go and who they are, and the social norms that often happen in TV. And I think because of that, it always feels incredibly current, as it feels completely other as well, she said. It's a really difficult thing to distill down, obviously. It's sci-fi, but it's also historical. It's also sometimes kitchen sink. It's for children, it's for adults, it's for everyone. Doctor Who's upcoming The Power of the Doctor will see Whittaker's Doctor fight for existence as the Daleks, the Cybermen, and the Master rear their ugly heads once again. So yeah. So this is an interesting topic that's sparked much debate as to, could Doctor Who feasibly have existed for as long as it has outside of other networks? Now, I think there is some level of irony to the fact that as Chris Chibnall leaves, the production of Doctor Who is being handled by an outside studio. Obviously, it's still going to be, released on the BBC. It's still a BBC property, but it's just, the production of it's being outsourced to Backdoor Studios. But equally, I think the point that he's making is that I think Doctor Who has been constantly renewed when, others probably wouldn't have kept it around for so long. I think due to, it's a weird conversation. And I can kind of see like a lot of why he would think that, because at the end of the day, no other show has lasted as long as it has, and in some ways you kind of have to, attribute that to the fact of where it's being broadcast. A lot of BBC shows, a lot of the big ones, last some of the longest in the world, particularly like soaps and stuff that have been, ongoing for decades as well and stuff like that. And Doctor Who is not just the longest running sci-fi show in the world, but one of the longest running consecutive shows in history, I'm pretty sure. So at a certain point, you certainly have to think of the broadcaster for it. But, it's an interesting idea. I do think, owing to, for example, Netflix's sort of tendency to cancel things when they've only just sort of been made and only just had their first season put out there, or just maybe even half of their episodes. When you look at the things like what's going on with Warner Brothers Discovery and all that, with all their stuff being like shelved, finished films being shelved, it sort of shows that, like, even though, something can be profitable, can be seen as being profitable, if it's not being profitable enough, then it's cut. And maybe that's part of the benefit of being a not-for-profit broadcaster, is that you don't have to worry so much about how much money a given thing makes. And even then, Doctor Who consistently is probably one of their biggest earners through like its merchandise alone. There aren't many other properties for the BBC that, you don't see Line of Duty figures, or, I'm trying to think of another good example of like a big BBC show, Strictly Come Dancing figures. Despite those shows doing incredibly well, Doctor Who, its merchandise arm, its Comic-Con panels, its audio dramas, it's an entire ecosystem that none of their other shows really have. So yeah, and it's, in a certain way, it is partially owing to them that, like, it's still going, absolutely. But then it also got cancelled by them in the 80s. So I kind of get both sides to why you would agree with this statement and why you disagree. I'm kind of just reading it as it is. I think it's an interesting topic, no matter how you see it. We had a super chat from Cameron Jefferson. Did you see David Jason did a special vid for the Euros last year? I'm not sure I have seen that. But thank you for letting me know. I'll have to have a look. Emmerdale is celebrating 50. Yeah, that's true. The Power of Doctor is going on iPlayer in 4K. Will we get a 4K Blu-ray like Twice Upon a Time? I hope so. When was the last 4K Blu-ray release they did? Did they do one for Revolution? Because that released in 4K. It's weird to me that they only did for like some episodes. I think Shooty's era will be big. I agree. I think. So what you're saying is capitalism sucks. So it's good. Docu Who's made by nationalized broadcaster. Also, Michael Grader's Victoria. No wonder he cancelled it. Yeah, in essence, I guess I think it says a lot that a lot of the longest running shows come from the BBC. Maybe that's what happens when you're not entirely driven by profit and commercial gain. I saw a commercial, but it said coming soon. I would like a date. What, for the centenary? It's the 23rd, 7:30 p.m. in the UK. You watch any good TV programs, Theres? I started watching Happy Valley, which is, I think, an older show. It's sort of a crime drama-y type thing that I was introduced to by a friend, and I've been watching through Torchwood as well currently. And I think I'm at the finale now, but I'll watch it with Jay at some point. Jay and I have been watching Haunting of Bly Manor together. So yeah, a few things. And obviously when that Devil's Hour show comes out, that's something I really want to watch too. So yeah, I've been busy. I also went on BritBox a few weeks back and binged Secret Diary of a Call Girl, which is Billie Piper, and Matt Smith even makes an appearance in an episode, which is really good and a really fun sort of show as well. I'm kind of happy Doctor Who was cancelled in the 1980s because without that we would not have Paul McGann or the brilliant breath of fresh air that is the revival. Yeah, it's kind of like a double-edged sword thing. You need to watch Star Trek. I have tried to get into it. I've tried to watch TNG, but I have struggled a little bit. I'll be honest, it's just, I have been told maybe to skip to Series 2, so I might do that. I wonder if anyone downloaded Geo and iTunes last night, try and see if they could get the centenary stuff. As far as I can tell, nothing else has been, gleaned from that, other than that one, still that we had last night, that we covered last night. Devil's Hour is out next week, Friday, I think. Oh, well, that's something to look forward to. I will definitely be watching that. I was also continuously watching Rick and Morty as but that was obviously, that has been declining in quality, but like some of the episodes are still decent. Have you seen Red Dwarf? Yeah, I've seen a good amount of Red Dwarf, a lot of it like on Dave repeats and stuff like that. You watch Secret Diary Theories and you've been holding on to me. Look, it's just a good show. I was there for the plot. Star Trek TNG gets better from season 3 with the hand phaser and the costume change. Yeah, I've heard that it gets better as it goes along. Speaking of Rick and Morty, what is that show and those plot lines? To be honest, I don't know why they're so prominent. I think it might be something to do with Dan Harmon, but yeah, that show really has gone downhill. It's a bit of a shame. You keep freezing on my end and going blurry. That might be your internet. Is anyone else having any issues? If so, it might be my end, but yeah, let me know. You were there for Matt Smith, not the plot. Okay, fine, you got me. I wanted to see Matt Smith in something else. Yes, but there has also been another preview of Power of the Doctor from Radio Times. Now, I'm taking this extract from Doctor Who Production News, once again, handy resource for all your things Doctor Who related. Which says, I don't know where this is. Yeah, where's this actually from? Because, like, I know it's from Radio Times, but, like, I haven't actually seen their coverage be officially released yet, so maybe it's an exclusive, maybe there's something they send to, like, subscribers early on, I'm not sure. But anyway, Radio Times magazine on the Power of the Doctor. There's a lot to cram in it, but thanks to the casting decisions, it's the fans whose interest was sparked in the 1980s who reap the most rewards. That's an interesting statement. Obviously, we kind of knew that there was a lot to cram in it, and like so that doesn't give a whole lot away. I am somewhat hopeful, as much as I'm really excited to see Ace and Tegan back. I hope it's not just like wall-to-wall callbacks with like no rhyme or reason. I hope there is some sort of restraint there on some ends. But yeah, it's okay. It's okay, Darius. I watched last night in Soho purely for Matt Smith and it ended up being a solid 8.5 out of 10. I haven't seen that yet, but I need to. Thank you to It's Bobcat for the $4.99 super chat saying, I feel like this will be the most beautiful regeneration yet. Going off of the still that we covered last night, it genuinely could be. I quite like, obviously it's very, very low res, so it's hard to glean much from it. But I really like what we're seeing, and thank you for the $4.99 super chat. That's very much appreciated. Thank you to anyone who super chats. It genuinely, it helps the channel out immensely. And I want to one day make this like my full-time, career maybe, if that's viable. So any support really helps out. Watch the episode Inner Light of TNG and the episode The City on the Edge of Forever of the original series. Will do. I will bear in mind the suggestions. Please let that mean that Ace and Tegan have very prominent roles. I think, judging by, because we did have the write-up, the BBC press release for Paradoctor, and I think Tegan's actor, Janet Fielding, even said, I thought I was going to be like a minor cameo, but they were reassured that it was, a big role. So yeah, I'm not really worried on that front, to be honest. I think we're in for a sizable amount of Tegan and Ace stuff. My only concern is that they're not going to have time to dedicate to everything. Adidas endorsement needs to happen. Yeah, I forgot I'm wearing it again. I don't help myself. I think you guys are just going to think that I'm like a cartoon character, like Barry V. Benson with the same jumper just in his walk. That's just me. I'm not sure an animated adult sitcom would be good for Doctor Who. It'd be funny if Paul McGann was the Doctor in it, lol. Or Peter Capaldi. I could see Peter Capaldi, but like allowing him to, do it post Watershed so he could swear or something. That'd be funny. Yes, but it's so overstuffed, Darius. Someone is going to get the small role. It looks like it'll be Dan. Yeah, judging by a lot of the stuff we're seeing, it's looking like it's going to be Dan. On the topic of the centenary, though, I wanted to talk briefly about a quote-unquote potential discovery I made last night, which is... let me find it. Here we are. So someone said here, okay, but I said here, sorry, someone, me, I mean me. Okay, but is there a cyber civil war going on? What episode? In this episode as well, because we seem to be seeing two factions of Cybermen. We seem to be seeing Ashad leading the group of normal Cybermen, cyber warriors that we've seen in this era up to this point, and then we see these boys along with their headrest counterparts, the ones with Gallifrey and insignia, which seem to be surrounding the Master. You can also see in the background, I believe, that's the set for the 1900s Russia. So are we going to have two different factions of Cybermen in this story? Because if so, that's a lot. Because we've already heard in one of the press releases that each villainous entity in this story has a separate plan. So I'm really worried as to because it makes sense for Ashad to want revenge in that way, right? It makes sense for him to, basically come to blows with the Master, given that the Master was the one who tissue compression eliminated him. Also, we still don't know how that gets reversed just yet. The Master versus Ashad, yeah, that seems to be what those images are implying, at least to a certain degree. But with the whole seismologists and the Daleks excavating that volcano and all the stuff with the Master already and the Doctor and the unit and Ace and Tegan and Dan and Vinda and every other bit of plot that this era has to wrap up, I am sort of getting to the point where I'm like, this is going to be a lot. Thank you to Lucia, DWHP, and Animal Lover. Great name. Do you think Carvanista will return for Power of the Doctor? I think if Vinda does, there's a possibility him and Bell will get a cameo, yeah. What's your action figure next to your screwdrivers? That is the junk TARDIS that's on there. I think that's what you're referring to anyway. But thank you for the £2 super chat, Lucia. Very much appreciate that. As I said, it really helps out the channel. So thank you all very, very much for that. Also, again, as you said, if you have been watching the stream and you have been enjoying the stream and my insights, I guess, feel free to like. There's 171 of you in here. Let's get it to 100 likes. That'd be greatly appreciated. And yeah, they're gonna do a split screen. Yeah, I agree. I think it should have been a two-parter. Because actually, it's interesting you bring that up because a lot of people have cited this as the longest episode of Doctor Who, which it is technically, but the End of Time two-parter is longer than this, counting 2 parts. And I would argue that End of Time had less to do. So, oh, thank you to It's Bobcat for another super chat. I didn't see the second one. Sorry about that, It's Bobcat. Oh, that's my fault. Sorry. I'm an American Doctor Who fan. How can I watch Power of the Doctor because my VPN no longer works on iPlayer? That's a good question. I don't know how to answer that. I think it's not being simulcast, this one, is it? It's slightly later. I'm not 100% sure. I mean, there's probably ways and means that probably are not of the legal variety. AMC Plus, apparently, someone's saying. Yes, David's last episode was split into 2, and that episode did, in fact... Oh, no, no, no. No, 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 no. No! But I am back. I am here. Hello. Can you hear me now? I'm alive. Sorry about that. It's just internet issues. Rest in peace to our fallen king. Wait, no, am I still here? I feel like I should still be here now. BritBox and Royal Box. Rip, he's buffering a lot. Am I buffering a lot? That's annoying. Chibnall's hacking your Wi-Fi. I swear this happens every other stream. We'll go through a phase of it being, alright, and then it'll just decide to die on me. You know what? I swear it only happens when I stream. It's very annoying. I'll tell you what, because the internet is like really bad, what I'm gonna do is it shouldn't be too much. Please tell me that worked. No! I refuse to give up. I refuse. I refuse. Thank you to wait, can you guys hear me now? Yes, am I back? Am I back? You're back. Yes, I fixed it. I did it. Alright, everyone come back. Please don't leave me. Thank you to James Pardon for the £4.49 super chat. Here's some pounds for some better Wi-Fi. Some great photos you showed. I swear to God, I only ever have issues when I'm streaming. I swear to God, every other time of day is fine. It's messing with me deliberately. Where was it? The internet. It went on a siesta for a bit. Song of Birthplace. I'm back. I'm alive. It's okay. I do have, I did have an Ethernet cable, but what you see, basically, see on the top of my DVDs, I've got, that's the extender for this room, because the room that I'm in wasn't part of the original house. It got added, well, the room was, but it had to basically be like built, and stuff got taken out of it, and etc. So obviously the internet doesn't reach this part of the house normally, so we've had to get an extender. So maybe if I put the Ethernet into my computer from the extender, maybe that would make it better. But yeah, it's weird that it like only ever happens when I'm streaming. It's very annoying. I'm not sure how that's going to come across in like an edit, but there we are. Like how it's going to come across when YouTube does their Wait, what? Apparently Christopher Eccleston talks about Doctor Who on Strictly. Well, we got something to talk about, I guess. Let me have a look. Let's have a look, shall we? Apparently it's being posted by Chloe. But can we see that? Yeah, we can. I'll turn it up a little bit so you can hear it. Hopefully I don't get claimed. It is only like seconds long. But knowing the BBC, I don't know.
We thought we would call on one of the previous doctors to give you a bit of advice. Have a little look at this.
Tyler, hello Diane. I've been running the tune through in my head to try and work out what moves you're going to do, and I can't. So to paraphrase James Brown, I don't care how you dance, but however you dance, it's got to be funky.
Wow, they called on the advice of one of the best doctors. So true. No, I love Eccleston.
Good luck.
That's so fun. That's very cool. That's cool. I didn't actually know that crossover thing was tonight. I thought that was later on. Will the Wi-Fi will get you and upload you? Yes. That's actually what happened. I briefly got uploaded to that thing. I was like, the Doctor dances. Yes. Oh my god, no, that's got to be a tweet. That has to be a tweet. Hold on, I'm gonna steal that from you. Da-da-da-da. You just gave me a great idea, so I had to take it. I had to capitalize on the fact. Thari's got taken by the Great Intelligence. I would love to be taken by Richard E. Grant. That sounded sexual now that I'm saying it out loud. It wasn't. It's just that I love Richard E. Grant. Do 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 do. Just give me 1 second. Just making a very funny joke that you're all gonna laugh at and applaud. I definitely didn't steal from someone in chat. Boom. There we are. Look at that. I don't need to tell you what the E stands for. What is Richard E. Grant? Oh god. Plagiarizing his audience once again. Look, what's the point in having a live chat if you can't exploit them? There we are. There we are. Eric, turn it down. You're live. You're down so bad right now. Look, I just made a compliment to Richard E. Grant. I wasn't trying to say anything weird, right? Leave me alone. What else has been going on in the world? There's been a couple other things. I feel like... Well, okay, John's just started doing this thing where he will just like repeat my tweets. It's very annoying. I got a question for chat. I'm gonna give you all a question, and I want you all to answer it for me. What's your favorite image released so far, and why? Honestly, I don't know. Actually, the one of the Ashad and the Cybermen is a good shout because I actually really am a fan of the Chibnall era Cyberman design. Spikes aside, I think it's really nice, and it seems like they slimmed it down a bit. So it honestly like might be one of these ones. Honestly, I think these Cybermen just look really cool, and honestly as well, I know that we see what I'm assuming, right? Because we see in one of the other Cybermen promo images, we see the ones in Timeless Children that have the collars. So what I'm assuming is the ones with the collars are the leaders of the Time Lord Cybermen, and these are like the regular ones. But honestly, I think they look so much better without the collars. And also, apparently, according to Doctor Who magazine, they have a slightly darker color palette. I just think these guys look really cool, both in their Time Lord variant and in their regular, foot soldier, normal Cyberman variant. So honestly, one of these, I would say. I also, to be fair, no, actually, I also do love the Ace promo shot with the baseball bat as well. Even though it's a lot of fan service, it's it's something that is cool to see, you know, after all this time, it has to be said. John, you know exactly what I mean. You're literally gaslighting people into thinking that I steal your tweets, but you tweet them after me. Everyone say L, John. It's not going to work. The master has a shrunken Yaz. Yeah, that seems to be what it looks like, doesn't it? Do. Yeah, I am wondering where that radio time stuff is coming from, though, because I've not seen a full article yet. Just bits being floating about. Someone also made the point last night, actually, that I wanted to show, that I retweeted last night, that hopefully this is the last appearance we get of the Time War Daleks, and I am inclined to agree. You know, they've been around for a long time at this stage, and I do feel like it's time to let another design have its time. You know, like, this seems like a fitting end-off, you know, having them face, like, Ace, and, like, you know, having that iconic Dalek imagery, and having them have their, you know, regular weapons again, the regular plunger and, obviously, gun. But let this be the last one. I know a lot of people said it about Eve of the Daleks, but I think here is where I'm really like, please, for the love of God, for the next era, can we get a new Dalek design? It's not a bad design. I'm just sick of seeing it at this stage. You know, it's been it's been almost like it's been like 17 years odd, is it? It's been a long time since we had a new one. I think we need a new Dalek design, personally. Why is everyone saying W, Sean? No. That's not how this works. Hear me out, the same design but silver. Honestly, I'd take that. Anything that's just not this again. Someone also pointed out on Twitter that we could be hearing our first pieces of... Oh no. It's apparently been deleted. Oh no, it hasn't. There we are. I fixed it. That this week we could be hearing our first piece of, Russell T Davies dialogue that he's written for Doctor Who since I Don't Want to Go. That's mental to me to think about. You know, that's like what? That's like 12 years since he wrote anything, for the official, Doctor Who show. It's a great episode. You're going to love it. Oh, what Power of the Doctor? Have you seen it, James? Were you at the premiere? Thoughts on that design bit in metallic grey? I wouldn't mind that. I just want something new. I like the gunmetal sort of paint that like later versions. I guess like the Remembrance grey Daleks. I like their sort of gunmetal non-shiny ones because like in Genesis they're too shiny because it doesn't really work well with the cameras. But please, when does it start filming? The Series 14? November, I think. Oh yeah, I've seen it, James. What did you think? Obviously, working within your embargoes, of course. I know how this is. Right, can you all stop gaslighting me into thinking that I steal this tweet? It's not true. It's just, I feel like I'm being lied to. You all literally saw me. I stole it from a chatter, but not from John. Special weapons Dalek, I literally didn't. Why would you say this to me? Do you think we'll get a promo at the end, or just Doctor Who will return? I'd like to see a promo, but at this point, like, I'm not convinced. Best yet, apparently. Interesting, very interesting. Terry, why does Jodie look like the sun baby from the Teletubbies during this stream? Look, I know that my photoshopping skills aren't great, okay, but I'm not appreciative. Hang on, Joe's the confused adipose is calling me. Hello? Hello? Can you hear me?
Hi, we're all watching your live stream in the living room, and
I
want to say hello.
Hello to everyone watching the stream. Hi, Everyone say hi to Joe in chat.
It's really weird. This is so delayed.
This is so meta. It's like a conversation throughout time. I didn't know we could have a live phone in.
Conversation.
Oh, for God's sake. What?
How's the live stream?
It's doing all right. How are you doing?
We're great.
I don't know how well they can hear you actually, but hopefully they can.
I can barely hear you because we can hear you both on the TV and on the phone.
Well, that's very fun. Yeah, no, I'm doing pretty good. The chat is very excited to see you. Oh yeah, by the way, because people ask me, can you confirm if I've got a role in Echo's Returns or not? Get it?
You have got a role in Echo's Return. We're gonna get a
Woo.
cameo in there somewhere.
There we go. See,
People out there, they've got to figure out where it fits in.
there we are. See,
We're gonna get it in there.
that's a collab between TARDIS and the Confused Adipose. That's not that shocking. That's happened a few times. We're stuck, Joe. Please save us. Well, you know what? Let him go live then. You know what? I'll eat this. All right.
Nice. But I'll let you get on with the live stream.
No worries. Thanks for stopping by.
Goodbye.
Bye. Scongo Slay. Oh god, these YouTubers have no etiquette anymore. They just call me up randomly in like middle of a stream. I felt like I was in a sitcom. It's like, oh my god, it's the Confused Adipose. I should start doing that. It'd be great to live with like a YouTuber and just like have them like walk through the door. He doesn't pick up when I call. Because that's the thing is, you can't be trusted. When if you called me on stream, you could say anything. Although knowing you, you'd probably just spam Jim. I'm like, yeah, say L, John. Who is it? It's Joe, aka the Confused Adipose, another Doctor Who YouTube person. Will you be recording a reaction for Sunday's episode? I will be. What you'll probably see first is my reaction to the regeneration, because I'll probably get that out as quickly as possible, followed by an initial thoughts on the episode, and then maybe a more in-depth version of that, and then I might edit down a reaction to the entire episode. Obviously, because BBC copyright is such a mess, it probably take me a while to make sure that the reaction is copyright friendly. But I'm hoping for the short, 1 minute regeneration scene, I should be okay. As long as I cut and stuff. But that's the plan. So there's going to be a lot of content going up that evening. I might even do a live stream later on to have a live chat with you guys, see what you thought about the episode, as it is the last one. I've even, considered, your lack of Jodie photos on the wall. I have every version of the 13th Doctor figure, okay? And also, that calendar will eventually be 13. It's just I've got to get to December to get there. Terry's when he drinks water, thirsties. Yeah, I have every 13th Doctor variant, and when they release that Dark Code one, you best believe it's going to go on that side of the shelf. So I have plenty. Don't worry, I have plenty. Terry, please do your live thoughts. It's more fun. I'll probably do both, to be honest. Why not both? Both is good. Use my idea to do a watch party in Discord. I would, but the thing is that would probably delay. That would probably delay my recording process. Stream the episode on Twitch. It's like, yeah, I could do that, but I haven't got an audience on Twitch. Not yet, at least. I mean, the thing is with Twitch is I have considered maybe putting, obviously I wouldn't put them exclusively on Twitch, but sort of, because I know some people simulcast, live streams on YouTube and Twitch at the same time. I think Gerald Sheard does a similar thing, formerly known as Ace Creeper, but I don't know. I know that, Twitch culture is probably more, Twitch chat's probably more, you can do more with it, but I just kind of prefer YouTube. I'm comfortable with it now. I don't know. I don't like change. What's your Instagram and Twitter? Twitter is probably the easiest way to reach me. It's @FarriesYT. So as the channel is written out in my little thing, and then just YT at the end in caps. That's me. Yeah, simulcast is the way to go. Yeah, I have heard of people who do that. It's something I might consider setting up just to maybe expand the reach of these. If you don't like Change, I don't think you should watch Doctor Who much, man. Good point. You know, that's a good point. I haven't really got a rebuttal to that. No, I'm joking. In Doctor Who specifically, what you call it? I actually quite like Change. I was just sort of making a joke at the expense of whoever that was. Yeah. Oh, thank you, James Palmer, for the follow, man. I really appreciate that. I've really been appreciating all your images. Last night they were all dropping last night, and I had great fun in covering all of them. Except for the incredibly lenient copyright, there's no reason for you to switch to Twitch. Yeah, isn't Twitch more gaming focused anyway, generally? Like, I feel like it's... And also, from what I've been hearing as well, because I do like to keep up with, like, current social media affairs, isn't it, like, collapsing? Hasn't there been, like, a bunch of stuff going on? What food is Wales famous for? Good question. Welsh cakes? Stuff with lamb, you know, other things. But thank you, James. Really appreciate that. One of the Twitch streamers I like watching is currently doing a Total Drama Island watch along. Oh, hello, Willogs. How are you? How are you doing? But hey, listen, how long have we been streaming for? We've been streaming for over an hour. It's gone by really quick today's stream, actually. I'm not sure how much longer I'll be streaming for. It depends really what I can find. If anyone's got any questions, Darius will drop it. Drop what? What will I drop? Heaton Park watch along with Eccleston. Yeah, he'd probably get very annoyed at the pollution, which fair enough. Who would win in a fight, a shark or a bear? Well, I mean, it really depends on where that's taking place, doesn't it, really? Like, if it's taking place on land, it's going to be a bear. But if it's taking place in water, it's going to be the shark. Depends on where that, you know, where that fight takes place. Sorry, when Doctor Who blows up worldwide, you'll be the biggest YouTuber, best start early to make Twitch. Yeah, I actually, that's an interesting point. I'm interested to see, like, what new people start covering this stuff, you know, with RTD2, because I think it'll happen. Did you collect any of the magazines? I did collect basically all of them. I had a collection of it wasn't the main magazine, but the one that was running currently with the RTD era. What was it called? Struggling to think now. If anyone knows what I'm... Something Files, I think, was it? Why did you never tell us it was you, Jenny Regenerative? I'm obviously, you know, Doctor Who Adventures, I think that was it. I had, like, all of those, but I think I sold them, unfortunately. But I did used to collect magazine. I have a subscription for it currently. So, yeah. Not long now to Power of the Doctor. Yeah, 5 days. It's mad how quickly it's going, really. Yeah. Still think there'll be a Christmas New Year special. I have some hope, but I'm trying not to, like, get my hopes up too high for it, but I kind of have my fingers crossed, you know? Like. But yeah. I worry the Paladrox will be a bit cluttered, like Banksters. Of course, I have my worries, but like it's, you know, at this point, I'm just gonna enjoy it for what it is. You know, I have considered for my like Power of the Doctor coverage having like a bottle of champagne because it's the last episode of the era and just sort of like to send it off. You know, that's what the money goes to, folks, for super chats. I just thought it might be a funny gag. I don't even really know whether I like champagne, but just thought it would be funny to toast the final episode of the era. you know, even especially on stream, I think that would be funny. Also, has anyone the regeneration team with the Doctor Who channel? Oh, you mean how they've been posting every regeneration up till the current one? Yeah, that's definitely gonna all you know end in Jodie's regeneration. I would think. Although it's gonna be funny when the 10th Doctor comes up because like it's possible that, you know, I mean they won't do 2005 to 2010 dash 2023, but people will be saying, oh, they should do that, you know. How widely could the show get? How widely successful could the show get under RTD again? Could it surpass the last RTD era? That is a good question. My honest answer is I don't know. Like, because the sort of climate of television is so different, how you measure success in like the digital age versus how you did in the 2000s was very different. So it really depends. I think it probably won't have as much in the way of like everyone watching it, because for the most part that's just not really how TV is now. Like there's not one thing that everyone watches because there is so much more choice. Like, you know, with online content really having taken off. But I do think it will, for like the time, be very popular. Not champagne theories. We go to these vodka to get through. And it's topical as part of it. So yeah, that's true. Although I feel like trying to make videos whilst drinking vodka would only lead to disaster. Is it just me? I'm a lot harsher on the RTD era, maybe because I grew up with the Moffat era. Most people argue with me whilst I was growing up. I mean, I grew up mostly with the Moffat era. Like Series 5 was like when I properly got into the show. I still really enjoy the RTD era, though. I think a lot of it holds up surprisingly well, you know, given its time period. Obviously, you know, some things age, but again, like it started like what 2005 was, so it was like I said, what 17 years ago now. Like it's been long enough to the point where some things are going to age, you know, better than others. But I still think on the whole, it's aged pretty well. I don't think the time vortex exploded at the end of 12's regen. 12 regenerated to 13, causing a lot of sparks. Yeah, no, I don't think there was a vortex explosion. At least not what I saw. That's going to be interesting, though. I am interested to see what causes the regeneration. That's an interesting thing. I am interested to see that. Because, like, I was going through them in my head the other day, and I was like, 12, like, died, like, 4 different times. And 11 is... I like 11, he kind of died of old age. Oh, there's some more interview clippings. Let's have a look at these. I haven't seen these, so might as well. So as well as being the 13th Doctor's swan song, the Power of the Doctor also marks the end of the road for the current companion Yasmin Khan Mandip Gill, Dan Lewis, John Bishop, and with the Doctor and Yaz having admitted to their romantic feelings for each other in the previous episode Legend of the Sea Devils. It's still going to be an emotional parting. Jodie and I had real emotions flowing, reveals Gill 34. It will be something I remember for the rest of my days, as we all knew it was the end of a beautiful chapter. So yeah, very interesting stuff. But yeah, I think that's going to wrap up the stream. If there's more stuff on the Radio Times tomorrow, which I have no doubt there will be in the coming days, I'll be sure to cover that. Thank you all so much for tuning in, and I will see you again next time. So take care, everybody, and goodbye. Yeah, she is 34. But yeah, bye.